garden, a 3-acre informal shade garden. Here there are 3 vegetation layers, an upper canopy of trees such as oaks, maples, ashes, and tulip trees. A middle layer consists of shrubs such as azaleas, rhododendrons, and hydrangeas. A lower layer is filled with perennials and ground covers. Many visitors may not realize that there is also an unseen garden of internationally renowned research and conservation. Most of our botanists and research students are based at the Monsanto Center, located 2 blocks west of here. Our library contains one of the world's most important collections devoted to systematic botany. Our herbarium contains more than 6 million mounted plant specimens. Some of these are very old, collected by Charles Darwin himself, while others were discovered just recently in the rainforest. Our 6 million specimen, a variety of Anthurium, was collected by our very own Dr. Thomas Croet in Ecuador. It was the 100,000th specimen that he personally collected, which only a handful of scientists in history have ever accomplished, so we're quite proud of him for that. Then if you look at the left, you'll see a spectacular giant dogwood, and in a few weeks it will have a mass of white blossoms on it. It's a giant dogwood which is a native of China and the Himalayas. On the right, you'll see a mirrored facade of the Lehman Building. To the left of the Lehman Building, you'll see some very tall trees with gnarled trunks. These are metasequoias, also known as Dawn redwoods. They are also native to China and were once thought to be extinct until they were rediscovered and planted here back in 1947. The path on the right leads to the informal German Strassenfest garden and our new Bavarian garden. Inside the black ornamental iron fence is the herb garden, maintained by the St. Louis Herb Society. The Angel Fountain on the right originally stood at the entrance to the 1904 World's Fair held in Forest Park here in St. Louis. The majestic tree with the sweeping branches in front of it is a Scotch elm. It also dates back to the time of the World Fair. We are now entering the Liechtenstein Victorian District, which includes Tower Grove House, the Victorian Garden, the Mausoleum, the Museum Building, the Piper Observatory Tower, and the Maze. And as we circle, look to the left, and you'll see a bronze sculpture of Henry Shaw, which commemorates the centennial of his passing. He died of malaria in 1889 at the age of 89. The rose-colored granite mausoleum with the copper roof that's coming up on your left, inside that wrought iron fence, is his final resting place. He is in a tomb beneath the white marble sculpture for which he posed shortly before his death, holding his favorite flower, which was a rose. Now, Don, I'm going to ask you to pause right here, because we have the Japanese maple now leafing out. But if you look past that yellow observatory tower, you're going to see a 3-story red brick building. This is the Schoenberg Administration Building. The first 2 sections of it were originally Henry Shaw's townhouse located at 7th and Locust Streets in downtown St. Louis. You might be wondering how the house got here. Well, Henry Shaw left provisions in his will that the house be dismantled brick by brick and rebuilt where it stands today. Now, coming up on your left, directly in front of the yellow observatory tower, we have our permanent Victorian garden. This type of garden was at the height of fashion in the middle of the 19th century when Henry Shaw toured Europe. In the center of the garden is Juno, sculpted by Carlo Nicolai in 1887. And Juno has stood in 8 different locations since arriving here some 120 years ago. Now the house that's directly on our left is Tower Grove House, Henry Shaw's Victorian country home. It's open to visitors Wednesday through Sunday from 10 to 4, so unfortunately it's not open today. Entry is included with your garden admission, so if you come back on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you have the opportunity to tour it. This is our 3rd and final rewarding stop. If you elect to get off, please keep your ticket handy to show to the next driver. We'll be back around 60 minutes. He may reboard if seating's available. If not, we will come around and collect your boarding passes at this time, and then we'll continue back to the tram shelter.